Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Maria Gonçalves podcast. I'm your host, Maria Gonçalves, and today we have a special guest. We have a Lori with us. Welcome, Lori.
Hi, Maria. So happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm super excited that you're here with us because you are actually a local girl here in Ontario,
I
where I'm
know.
from.
We
So
didn't
that
even
was
know we were neighbors,
We
right?
didn't know we were neighbors, next door neighbors with the cities. So,
Mhm.
for those that are listening and read a little bit about Lori, so you guys get to know her. And Lori, how do you pronounce your last name?
It's Lytle.
Lytle. Okay.
Lytle,
So,
yeah. A lot of people say little. It's
yes,
Lori Lytle. Thanks for asking.
that is beautiful. That's why I asked you.
Okay.
So, for those of you that don't know, Lori is also known as the Inner Goddess Tarot, and she is a lifelong tarot reader who left office life to pursue a full-time career as a spiritual seeker and a tarot practitioner. Lori is an introvert, empath, a nerd, a solitary witch, a high priestess, a Gemini, an overthinker, and a devotee of cats and cards. Oh, I love cats. I love
My little
cards.
one she's right there.
Oh my goodness, how precious. She also has the Unifying Conscious Tarot is Lori's first tarot deck. And
Mhm.
her first book that we are going to talk about today is the Talisman and Tarot that just came out this fall, 2025. And Lori, for those of you that are curious, Lori lives in the beautiful Niagara Benchlands in Ontario, Canada. She is on Instagram. So I'm going to have her contact information for you guys. But if you're looking for her, her website is innergoddesstarot.com. You can find her on Instagram in Inner Goddess Tarot. So don't forget to give her a follow, and Facebook inner.goddess.tarot. So welcome, Lori. So here is her book.
Hey. Gives me a thrill to see it in your hands there, Maria.
I love this book. So when I was looking at this book, oh, I have like a million questions for you, but let me first start with what inspired you to write this book?
Okay, good question. So I've been reading tarot for a long time. I started reading tarot like a lot of people when I was about 13 or so.
Yeah.
And but I've always approached the tarot in a way that the cards are something that's really helpful. They can give you helpful guidance, helpful information, and show you how you can move towards your goals and achieve your dreams. So
Yes.
rather than kind of prediction or fortune telling way of looking at the cards, they always resonated with me as something empowering that can help me move forward. So
Yes.
over the years, I realized that I'd started to work with talismans for the same purpose. I'm always wearing something protective, amulet, talisman, always have a really wide selection of talismans and crystals in my very heavy purse. So over the years, I realized I'm using talismans for that idea of achieving my goals and drawing what I want to me. And I'm using
Mhm.
the cards for that too. So I had a bit of a revelation of why not combine the two? Because these are the two things that I love and the things I love to work with in the world. I thought, wow, it just makes sense to combine them. So I've been doing that for a few years. I've been teaching workshops and going to conferences and teaching this idea. And it just kind of naturally formed into a book in my mind so that I could
Yeah.
share it, my technique
Oh,
in
I
that.
love that.
So it's been an idea that's been floating around me for a long time. And I'm just
Yeah.
happy to finally crystallized it and got it into book form.
Oh, I love it. So can you explain to us what does the word talismans mean? Because you said you
Mm.
have a couple, like, what is that?
Yeah, good. That's a good place to start. Because I think in the book, I talk about the difference between amulets, lucky charms, and talismans.
Yeah.
Because I work with all of those things and I love all of those things, but I find talismans to be the most powerful. And so what I mean is like an amulet is usually something that we believe protects us. It's a protective tool that helps us to manage external forces and make us feel
Mm.
safe in the world. And then a lucky charm, we think it attracts luck to us in kind of a vague way. We just want to be lucky. We hope good things will come our way today. So an amulet is passive in a way. It just protects. And a
Yeah.
lucky charm is kind of in the middle because it's a little bit broad, but we think it's still attracting good luck to us. A talisman is active. A talisman is a magical tool that we create for a specific purpose, for a specific goal or dream that we want to manifest. So it's a magical tool that supports us in achieving a particular dream or goal. So very targeted and specific and powerful in that way.
So because I'm not really familiar with talisman, so I'm gonna ask you a lot of questions about
Yeah,
that.
that's what I'm here. Yeah.
So like even on the cover, so would this be like a lucky charm or is this a talisman or it's the intention you put behind it?
You hit it on the nose there, I think. So there are, of course, like Maria, there are traditional amulets and talismans and lucky
Okay.
charms. Just like on the cover of my book, those are symbols that most people are familiar with or have seen, and they carry power in the tradition that they represent. For me, a talisman can be anything because it's
Mm.
personal. So I'm wearing actually the same as on the book there. I'm wearing my ankh here, which is a protective amulet. But if you work some magic, you can turn it into your own personal talisman. So it is intention.
Yeah.
And like for when you're creating a talisman, you can use any material that you want, but there are ways to make it more powerful by choosing wisely, like choosing a material that matches your intention on some level. So I get into that in the book that you can work with crystals, you can work with metals, you can work with natural objects, symbols, and
Yeah.
then layer all of those things as well. So that's part of the fun of creating a talisman is that it can be anything that you want, anything that has meaning to you. And then you're going to do work with the tarot and work with your own magic and your own power
Yeah.
to weave it all together and create something magical tool that's personal to you.
Okay. So with the talisman, because I'm not so familiar,
Yeah,
so
so
is that something you wear or it's just like anything you find it doesn't need to be wearable and it's just something you store in your house? Like, how does that work?
for me personally, I
Yeah.
like to use a piece of jewelry for a talisman. That's
Okay.
my personal preference because for me, jewelry has always been, can I say? Like for me, when I put jewelry on, it's a devotional activity. Maria,
Yeah.
every day I choose my jewelry for a specific reason, and I wear a lot of it. I
I love it. I
love the
love it.
shiny things. So jewelry has that association for me that
Yeah.
it's something personal. I'm choosing it to amplify my energy or to draw to me what I desire for a particular day, to tap into the energy of a particular day. While we're talking here, Marie, it's Monday. And so I chose moonstone and a moon shaped pendant to tap into
Wow.
the energy of today. But talisman does not have to be jewelry. I
Okay.
recommend that it's something small that you could wear as jewelry or you could put in your pocket, you could carry with you. Because when you work with a talisman, you're working with a talisman. The two of you are helping each other out to achieve a specific intention. So it just makes sense to either wear it, to have it on your body, to have it close to you, because it's a touchstone that reminds you of what it is you want to achieve. And you're putting that energy out to the universe of what you want and asking opportunities to come to you. So I think it's a little bit different to me than putting something on your altar and leaving it there. There's power there too. You can focus on it in that way.
Yeah.
But my practice is either to wear it or something small that I can carry with me.
Oh, I like that because then you got all your senses in it and you're reminding yourself of
Yeah,
it
yeah,
throughout the day. So it's not
yeah.
like a vision board where you kind of like paste the picture and you forget about it, right? Unless you walk into that room and you see that image. So in your book, you talk about, because we're talking about intention, and I love that about intention, you talk about two different types of
Mm,
intentions.
mhm.
So can you explain that? Because I'm going to say right now, I was going through the book. Her book is excellent. It is It breaks down the information super easy for anybody to understand, but I'm still going to ask you questions. So, can you share with our listeners, because you have quantable and holistic intentions. So,
Mhm.
what's the difference?
Okay. So part of the process of creating a talisman is
Mhm.
getting very clear on what it is you want to manifest, how you want to feel, what you want to achieve, what your intention is. So the process in my book takes you through that, and tarot cards are in the mix there, of course, as well. So
Yeah.
when you're thinking about your intention, what it is that you want your talisman to help you achieve, maybe you have something really quantifiable and specific. I want to finish my tarot deck by this date.
Yes.
I want to finish writing my book by this date. I want to get a job that pays this much that I love by December or something. That's really specific. So you have a very clear end goal in mind. But your intention might be a little bit more holistic or open-ended. So perhaps you want to create a talisman. Maybe you're going to use rose quartz, which is so wonderful for the heart and for love,
Yeah.
because your intention is to foster greater self-love, or to invite more love into your life, or to heal your heart. So those are the kind of intentions that aren't so cut and dried. They don't really have an end date. It's an ongoing thing. I want to increase my confidence or something like that. So that kind of intention still works really well with a talisman, but that might be something, a talisman then, that you work with for years until you feel like you've reached a point where you're satisfied with that healing, but it doesn't have a as clear of an outcome or end date. So
Yeah.
both are powerful intentions to have, and a talisman can be useful for either one. But that's important to, as you start to weave your magic, to be clear on what your intention really is.
Oh, wow. So, a holistic
Yeah.
intention is something that doesn't have an end date?
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
it's ongoing, because like Maria, how can I can't imagine, like, if my intention is for greater self-love and self-esteem and confidence, what's the end? What is going to tell
Yeah.
me, Lori, you have achieved the pinnacle of that, right?
Yeah.
So it's more of an ongoing thing. So then when you work with your talisman, it supports you and reminds you of how you want to feel, and gives you opportunities to take action towards that and to draw those things to you. So that's something that you might decide, I've reached a point where I'm really satisfied with my
Yeah.
confidence levels, and I'm going to release that talisman now. Or it might be just something that you work with for years and years, as opposed to, as I say, a very specific one where it's like, I want this to happen by this day, and I'm going to work towards it. And it's clear.
Okay.
Does
So
that make
then,
sense?
yeah, that makes absolute sense. So in the book, you talk about releasing your talisman once that intention comes to fruition. So how does that work?
So when you create a talisman, it's something that you're actively working with.
Mm,
So as I said before, you can wear it and have it on your body as kind of a touchstone to remind you, this is what I'm working towards, this is what I'm manifesting. I also in the book talk about ways to work with your talisman through meditation and
yeah.
other techniques, because I don't want to give the impression that you're, okay, I create this magic tool and poof, what I desire appears. You still have to put the effort in. You still have
Yes.
to, but that's a pleasure. I mean, you have to still put the work in and take action towards it. And it's empowering, rather than just thinking I have this magic thing and I no longer have to put any effort in. So the process of working with the talisman, you're working with it, you're nurturing each other, you're acting on opportunities. So then when you reach the point where you have achieved your goal,
Yeah.
then your talisman has done its job. It's done its work for you.
Yeah.
So at that point, I think you need to release it. You need to thank it
Yeah.
and say, wow, thank you for your support. Thank yourself. and feel gratitude for what you've experienced and what you've achieved. And then you release your talisman from its job. And also
Yeah.
you release yourself. You sort of make a point of closing off that chapter. So for me, I like to do a ritual to release the talisman. So it's like a visualization or a meditation where you're connecting with your talisman and the energy of it, yourself, your guides, and you're thanking your talisman for its work and
Yeah.
saying you're now free or released. And then your talisman just becomes a beautiful piece of jewelry or a wonderful stone or that you still want to have around you, but it's not tied to a job.
Oh,
Some
I like
people
that.
think you need to destroy a talisman when it's
Yeah.
done. So burn it or bury it or break it. Maria, I've never been able to do that.
Yeah.
It's not me. But those are possibilities too. Or if you use something that is, it's possible to burn it. Okay, maybe you release it in that way. I
Yeah.
much prefer to do that, honor your talisman by doing a ritual and thanking it, and having a moment to acknowledge the work you've done together, and then you're both free.
Oh, that is so cool. I really like that because I don't know enough about it. I've heard little bits and pieces here and there from different people, but I absolutely love how you broke it down for us. So for those that are listening, now you know what a talisman is, you know the difference, you know the intentions. So because this book says Talisman and Tarot, and in here you do have the tarot cards.
Yes.
And I'm gonna go here. I picked the Fool because I really like
Oh,
the way you
nice.
wrote it. So then my question to you is, how do you use a talisman for the Fool?
Mm. Okay, so that there's a few ways to approach that. The
Yeah.
way that my book works is that you are integrating a tarot reading or several tarot readings into the creation of your talisman.
Okay.
So you start with a tarot reading to, well, you start with an idea, first of all, an intention, and it might be still quite broad or quite vague. Maybe
Yeah.
you don't know exactly what you want. So then you do a tarot reading, or there's a few tarot readings in the book that helps you to get laser sharp clarity on what it is you want to achieve.
Yes.
So when I wrote about the tarot in my book, I wanted people, even complete beginners to tarot, to be able to
Yeah.
confidently work through this process and get to know the cards. So the book is also a beginner tarot 101 kind of book, but it
Yeah.
takes you further because it also introduces all kinds of different aspects of magic and timing around magic and meditation and things like that. But so that's the really long answer, Maria.
Okay.
For each card, like you'll see in that description of the Fool, I also include uh, connections to intentions and
Yeah.
talisman. So the Fool, you might want to, if the Fool comes up in your tarot reading, then
Yeah.
the Fool is telling you it's time to take a leap of faith, start a new adventure, embody
Yeah.
the energy of the Fool, reinvent yourself, trust the universe. So
Yeah.
when you're forming your intention that you're going to imbue in your talisman, if the Fool is showing up in your cards, it feels exciting because you're like, wow, this is something really new. And that
Yeah.
might give you something to think about as to how you would approach your goal.
Yeah.
And on the other side of things, Maria, I mean, you can work with the tarot card itself as a talisman, of course. If you focus your energy on the Fool, you're inviting that energy of adventure and new
Yeah.
beginnings into your life. But
Oh, I like that.
with my process, you're reading the cards for yourself, and the cards are giving you information about how you really want to feel and what you really want to achieve. Because it sounds funny to say, but sometimes we don't always know that.
It's
We know
true.
we, right? We know we want something, we
Yeah.
want more, but we're not sure, or we don't give ourselves permission to
Yeah.
know that or feel that. So by reading the tarot, if the Fool comes up, that's permission from the universe to have an adventure and trust yourself and take that leap of faith.
I love that because thank you for that because I know there is that myth out there and I've heard it so many times that you can't read for yourself.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's like you
Of
can just
course.
trust your intuition and and see where it guides you. What I love about the way you broke up, like the way it's written is simple, easy to understand that I like that.
Good.
And then you have the talisman intentions and themes. You
Mhm.
have an affirmation for each of the cards. So here the affirmation is my life is an adventure. I like that.
I like that
And then
too.
I like how you have a musing comment. So,
Yeah.
musing, when did you last take a leap of faith? How did things turn out? So, I love that you get us to sit and think about it and open our minds and just be open to information from the universe.
Yeah.
And
Thanks.
it doesn't sound scary or, or intimidating because I find sometimes people get intimidated with tarot because they'll be like, oh my goodness, there's so many cards. And it's like, no, just focus on one card.
Yeah, I love that. It's true. I think I wrote the book just as you said, Maria. I wanted to be approachable and comfortable. It's
Mhm.
there's a lot of information in there, and as I said, I've been reading tarot for a long time, so this is based on my own study over the
Yeah,
years and my own experience as a reader. So it's my
yeah,
view of the cards from all those many sources. So I like to think that I'm going to give people enough to feel confident to work with the cards, even if they're, as I said, they're just starting out. Or readers, longtime readers, I hope you'll find something new
yeah.
might resonate with you, or something might think, oh, I've never thought of that before, that kind of thing. So I makes me feel happy to think that people can read that description of the Fool and maybe it'll spark an idea for them. And every card I include, I'm using, like a journal
Yeah.
prompt kind of thing. And throughout the book, the idea is that you're doing hands-on activities, that it's really
Yeah.
engaging. I want you to really like do this, not
Yes,
just
yes.
read it or not just think about it. It's encouraging you to empower yourself and take this action.
I like it. I like the way you broke it down because you have like things in the back where you talk about in the back of the book where you're talking about different crystals,
Yeah,
um, intuition and psychic work. So it's really broken down very user friendly. I'm going to say
well,
that when
that's
I was reading through the book, it feels very user friendly. And I think too, for those that are listening and they're going on their tarot journey, pick the cards that resonate for you, pick the books that resonate for
yeah,
you.
yeah,
And I think this is a great simple book because you need simple. I've had those tarot books that I bought and
yeah.
I've gotten so overwhelmed, like as a beginner, and I was like,
Oh,
oh my
sure.
goodness, I don't know what they're saying here. And then you even talk about like days of the week. So can you tell us about that intentions and days of the week?
For sure. So when you're creating a talisman, one of the most fun parts of that is that you get to layer all different kinds of magic into the process. So
Yeah.
it's not overcomplicated. Like Maria, I don't want to make anything so ceremonial or so what's the right way, so ritualistic that just as you described, you don't want to do it because you think I'm going to get it wrong or this is going to be too complicated. That's
Yeah.
not my approach at all. Much more personal and intuitive to it. So the days of the week and the timing, that's another kind of magic you're layering in. So you're
Mhm.
starting with your intention. You're doing a tarot reading to help you hone in on it and give you more information and get you excited about it. Then you start to think, what material do I want to use for my talisman? Do I want to use a crystal? Do I have a piece of jewelry that's a particular symbol? Do I want to use a natural object? I go through some ideas of what, because you want to pick a material that is in line with your intention because it's going to support each other. As I mentioned before, the example of using rose quartz for anything related to the heart and love
Yeah.
because they support each other. So another thing that you can bring in is when you create a talisman, you're doing a magical ritual, consecrating it, and that is what turns it from a normal object into something magical. So
Mm.
you can think about when you want to do that ritual because you're layering in another aspect of magic. So you might want to pick a day of the week that the energy matches your intention.
Yeah.
Where love keeps coming up. So Friday is Venus's day. That's if you're doing something with love, why not do the ritual on a Friday? Or you could look at the particular moon phase. So all these things, not to make it overcomplicated, but it's really fun because you can think,
Yeah.
oh, I'm choosing this material that adds power, and then I'm going to choose this day because that resonates with my intention. Oh, maybe I'm going to pay attention to the moon phase too. So all of these things are these aspects are adding power to
Yeah.
your intention and to your talisman.
Oh, wow. Like when you're talking about color and stuff, I don't know if you noticed, my mic is pink. And
Oh,
because my friend had a pink one, and it's like the intention of the podcast to do it with love and opening up people's hearts and getting them to trust themselves, to
I love that.
explore and learn about different guests and not be afraid and to empower them. So I have pink there with that
That's
intention
perfect. I love you're sending that energy out to the world through your
all the
mic.
time because I think
Mhm.
it's super important. So I am curious. Thank you for explaining that because that makes so much sense. And I love how simple it is. It's not complicated. It really isn't the way
Well,
you
and
explain it.
well, thanks, Maria. And I get excited about it because these are all magical resources that we all have. You're tapping into the energy that's around you. So if you think about a day of the week or a number, a day, a particular number day, because that's your lucky number, or the moon
Yeah.
phase, because that's something everybody has access to. And you can just, magic is all around you and you can tap into it with your intention and noticing it and using it. So it's not complicated or having to go out and buy a lot of magical tools you don't understand, or it's all
Yeah.
this magic and energy is all around us. So how great is it that we can tap into that with our intention and make it as simple or as complicated as you like, depending on what resonates with you.
Wow. I am curious. Did you grow up with tarot cards? Like, what was it like growing up in your house?
Well, as far as I know, no one in my family read tarot.
Yeah.
It was certainly not a family thing.
Yeah.
My mom is a very spiritual person, and she introduced me to a lot of really fascinating ideas and was open to a lot of things when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But she doesn't read tarot, or like she didn't introduce it to me, but she certainly introduced really interesting ideas and would always take me to my favorite new age store and let me wander around there. So it was certainly not a forbidden topic in my home or anything. Like
Yeah.
my family was very open to these things when I was a kid, but it was not a family. I have no family history as far as I know of card readers or diviners. So I found my first tarot deck when I was about 13 in this amazing new age store that no longer exists in Toronto. And this was
Yeah.
long before you could buy tarot decks online in your
Yes.
pajamas at 3 a.m. and have it come the next day. You had to hunt them out. And I just remember seeing that deck on a shelf and it was just saying, Lori, pay attention to me. And I bought it and I didn't tell anyone about it because it was just for me. And I wasn't afraid of getting in trouble or anything or be disapproved of. It's just I
Yeah.
felt this is something so personal for me. And I
Yeah.
really want to get to know it in my own way. And I'm a big introvert too. So it was this sort of magical world of stories and my story that I could see in the cards. So I spent many years reading every book I could get my hands on.
Yeah.
And I would have died before I'd read tarot for somebody else
Wow.
because
So
it was just for me. But over the years that changed and I started getting really serious about it. And I worked with some really wonderful tarot mentors and started going to conferences and studying. And then it just felt natural to take it to the professional side of things.
oh, wow. So when was that aha moment within your life where you're like, I'm going to take it professional? Was it
Mhm.
one event or is it like a series of events?
It was an event. It was kind of of a tower card kind of moment, Maria. So I had been getting more and more serious about tarot as I got
Mhm.
older, but I found myself years ago, I found myself in a really terrible, toxic job that
Yeah.
I hated. And I took that job and I knew I would hate it, but I took it for obvious reasons, for security and
Yeah.
income and all the things. And it was so, I think the universe sent me that job because it was so terrible that, like the Tower card, I blew up, told them what I think of them exactly, and left that
Yeah.
job and didn't
Yeah.
have anything else lined up or anything like that. But I just knew, oh, I have to get out of here. And I thought, why should I look for another job that's just like this one, that's going
Yeah.
to not feed my soul or going to be as soul sucking as the previous one? And then I had this idea I couldn't ignore of, why don't I try doing
Yeah.
tarot professionally? Why don't I give that a try?
Yeah.
So I did.
Oh, wow. And we're very grateful you did. I am curious, that first tarot deck that you purchased, do you
Yeah.
still own it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's precious to me. I have a much bigger collection now, but of course I still have it.
Do
Mhm.
you use it or you just kind of put it away for
Oh yeah. No,
safekeeping?
I use it for me. I don't use it
Okay.
for clients, and I don't take it to events or anything because it's precious. So I
Yeah.
have the first two, definitely, because the first two decks I got were the Aquarian Tarot
Yeah.
and the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot. So I still have those ones, those first ones. I've kept them safe and precious for many, many, many years. But now my collection is expanded exponentially, of course, with decks.
So just curious, are you addicted to purchasing tarot decks like me?
I I I am, but I've learned how to manage it, Maria.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
'Cause when I first started getting really serious about tarot, I had to have every deck. I became fascinated with, oh, that
Yes.
deck, I have to have that one. I have to have that one. I have to have that one. And then you start to realize that you don't have time to work with all of them. And
Yeah.
so I've really tried to be mindful now of, I love, there's a lot of really wonderful decks on Kickstarter that are interesting and unique. So those are a little bit, I'll dip in there. And when a new deck comes, there's a few coming out now I'm really excited about,
Wow.
in the mainstream, in the mass market too. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to really be mindful of choosing decks that I know I will use and that, or are really different, rather than just, I have to have them all. I have to have that one. Because
Oh,
you don't
wow.
have time to look at them all, right?
You don't. I find I start collecting decks
Yeah.
because then some of them I probably haven't even opened them up, but then it becomes like a collector's item. It's like, oh, I got it from this person, I got it from that
Yeah.
person, or I got it from this country or that country because
Yeah.
I find them super fascinating. I just love the artwork. I love the intention that goes behind it because now, as also creating my own tarot deck, I have a whole new appreciation for those that create
Yeah.
decks, create books. So much heart goes
That's
into
and that's
the
so exciting,
creation.
Maria, that you're creating your deck. So I'll be looking
Yes.
for that.
And even, thank you. And even for this book. So I know you have something coming up. Do you want to share with our audience in Kingston?
Yeah, sure. I'm really excited about it. It's been a conference that Marilyn Shannon has been organizing for years. I'm trying to think when the first one was, but she does it every 2 years in Kingston, and
Okay.
it's always amazing. So the next one is coming up November 2026. And
Yes.
I believe it's the, if you look up Kingston Tarot Lenormand Conference. Yeah, thank
There
you.
we go. It's right there.
The
That
thing,
are interested and want to go and meet Lori and study with Lori, check that out. I have so enjoyed talking to you for this time and I've learned so much. Is there anything else you want to share with our viewers and listeners? Like if they want to book a reading with you, is it in person or is it online? How does
yeah.
that work?
I see, Maria, I see most of my clients online. So
Okay.
it's nice and easy from my little sanctuary here. So I really like working that way. So if anyone would like to book a reading, they can just go to innergoddesstarot.com and book a
Okay.
live online reading. I also do email and recorded readings too. And I'm cooking up some pretty interesting things for Halloween and Samhain. So those will be launching shortly.
Okay.
So they
So
can,
if people want to find out about that, they just follow you on social media or they email you to stay updated?
I do have a newsletter that I send, an email newsletter, Tarot Tuesday. So I send it out every week and I send a free tarot forecast for the week ahead and all the news that I have. So if anyone wants to sign up for that, that would be great. And that's on my website too.
Okay, that was thank you. So once again, if you guys are looking for this book, where can they find this book, Lori?
It's widely available pretty much anywhere books are sold at this point. So it's
Okay.
available on all the big ones online.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy to see it's popping up in local bookstores too.
Yeah.
So if your local bookstore doesn't have it, maybe you could ask them to
To carry
to
it.
order it in. But it's out there in the world. It's widely available now.
All right. So if you guys are interested, just look it up. I got mine on Amazon. It's, check out your local bookstore, see if it's there. Message Lori. And thank you so much for spending this time with us. And I hope everybody learned a lot more about tarot and talismans and that it gives you the courage to step forward and open up your intuition. And most importantly, just have fun. Just have fun. And don't forget about Lori's conference coming up for those of you that are interested and if you want to meet her in person. So that sounds fantastic. So thank you, Lori, for being with us today.
Oh, thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Really nice talking to you.
Okay, goodbye, everybody.